Okay, so for the brain, you've got your telencephalon here. The diencephalon is part of the brain that's folded down. So when we look at the sheep brain where you can turn it over, you'll be looking at the diencephalon in more detail. Now this is a little squishy up here, but you've got your paired components, left and right components of your optic tectum, and then sitting sort of above and behind the optic tectum is the cerebellum. The cerebrum is the outgrowth of the telencephalon. So these parts all have a dorsal outgrowth. The cerebrum, the optic tectum, and the cerebellum. Now back here in the myelencephalon, there is no dorsal outgrowth. So this is the brain stem. So essentially all of the other anterior areas have some special function that these dorsal outgrowths do. Brainstem, no special function. Just keep things running, keep the gills going, keep the blood pumping, keep the heart running. Okay, and it actually is open here. It has an open roof, and inside the roof there's actually a series of little folds, and they continue on into the spinal cord. And each of those little folds, there are 4 of them on each side. Each fold corresponds to one of the 4 major nerve types. So we have sensory and motor nerves, and we have 2 types of each of those. They are running in each of these little grooves that run through the myelencephalon. So those are our 5 brain regions: telencephalon, diencephalon, mesencephalon, metencephalon, and myelencephalon. Then we have the cranial nerves. So coming off of the telencephalon and heading towards the nostril is going to be the olfactory nerve. That's number 1. In the back of the eye, the shiny white structure in there is the optic nerve. That's number 2. Then your extrinsic eye muscles are innervated by 3 different nerves, which are largely, they're already sort of falling apart. That's very typical. They don't really last. That's number 3, the oculomotor, number 4, the trochlear, and number 6, the abducens. Then this is your superficial ophthalmic nerve. That's part of trigeminal nerve, number 5. So that actually comes out kind of right at this junction right here. 5 comes out, it sends a branch up here that's going to go to the skin around the head. It's going to send another branch that goes down to the adductor mandibulae. Other branches are going to go to the other mandibular arch musculature and skin. Then coming out just behind that is the facial nerve number 7, comes out just where 5 does, but then turns and heads this direction to go to the hyoid musculature. Where your ear was, that was innervated by cranial nerve number 8, which is the acoustic or the statoacoustic nerve. You usually don't see that because it comes straight out of the brain and right into the ear. It's a fraction of a millimeter long, okay? But behind that, coming out of the myelencephalon or the base of the metencephalon, you have glossopharyngeal, which serves the first of the gill arches, and the vagus, which is much thicker, which serves the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th gill arches, as well as the heart and the internal organs. Right? And then in the eye, right, you had your muscles there. You got your 4 rectus muscles, your lateral, dorsal, medial, and on the underside is your ventral. And then in the front of the eye, you have your dorsal oblique, and on the underside will be your ventral oblique. And then if you can see if we can see it in here. Looking for your, there it is, that shiny white thing right there.
Yeah.
That is the orbital process of the palato-quadrate, right? That's going to become the allosphenoid. And you can, right, and you can actually, if you put your probe in the animal's jaw and upper jaw and pull it, you'll actually see that move. So you can prove to yourself that that's actually like part of the upper jaw and not part of the brain case, at least in this animal. Okay?
What about, can you show us the golf tee thing you were talking about?
That right there.
Is that the optic pedestal?
That's the optic pedestal, yeah, right there.